Good morning, Patriots. How you doing today? This is Mike the Patriot coming to you live from the downtown metropolis of LaMonte, Missouri, and it's Friday. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. Whatever that means. I work harder on the weekends than I do during the week. During the week, all I do is talk on the show, but I go over and do cross connect with the embassy guys, the Embassy House for Recovery, and I don't know what to call it anymore. But basically, we help the guys that are transitioning from drug addiction, from prison, from homelessness and whatnot to basically they agree to be discipled. That's what they do. In order to come in the house, they don't have to be Christians, but they have to agree to Christian discipleship to get their lives right. And we've had tremendous success of late, changing people and affecting people's lives. So that's a good deal. And then, so I do that. It's like, so tonight we got a prayer meeting. We got that tomorrow. We got Sunday. We got church. We got meeting. I got meetings. I got all kinds of stuff happening. The weekends are always crazy for me. It's insane. I don't know what the deal is. Just too busy. None of it. Well, you should be pulling in the dough, making all the money, being busy all the time. But I'm just not making money like that. Those are all things that, God's called me to do. I'll do it. I don't have to make money. I don't have to make any money. It's not what it's about. It's not what it's about. It's about, I don't know why I'm even bringing it up, but I am. I'm looking here. The stock market's tanking this morning. That's fun. Where's the gold at? Oh, there it is. Gold's up. Gold has shot through the roof. It's 34.05 right now. Silver's trading at 37. It's been suppressed the last couple of days. We'll see what happens to it today. But the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 474. NASDAQ's down 334, and the SP 500 is down 76. And they're saying it's on weak job numbers. But okay, part of the reason why they had weak job numbers, by the way, and these analysts over there at the stock market, they know it. Is because they've been firing all the jobs from the government. That's what the weak job numbers are about. They've been firing all the government jobs, and that's good for the economy. And it's beautiful here in Central Missouri. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know how it is in your neck of the woods. I saw a post that I thought was funny, and I thought I wanted to start the show off with that, but I didn't have it set up because been busy setting everything up. I forgot to set this up, but it's beautiful here. It's like I've got the windows open. The air conditioner's been running its guts out. I mean, flat running its guts out. But now it's nice and cool. It's in the 70s. It's like the 63 outside right now with slight haze, meaning there's some humidity. But I saw this post. I said, the coolest air we've seen in 2 months arrives this weekend. Highs struggled to clear 70s across the Carolinas on Saturday. And I have to ask a question to all of the man controls the weather people. So did the cloud seeding bring us the heat, or is the cloud seeding bringing us the cool? Can somebody tell me? Because I don't know. That's a serious question. Which is it? What's bringing the heat, and what made it so hot, in July, and now it's cool? How did that happen? Because man controls the weather, right? Was it HAARP sending out X-rays and zapping the heat molecules in the air? How did that happen? And the other question I have for y'all: if you live in Florida, can you do me a favor? Can you send me the picture of the chemtrails in your sky? You can just text them to 660-620-2644, send an email to PatriotMikeShow@gmail.com, and send me a picture of the chemtrails in the sky. I'd like to see them. I'd like to see the chemtrails in the sky in Florida. If you're not living in Florida, this is for Floridians only. Floridiansonly.com. My Marine says he turned off his heart. So, anyways, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. And Marine in the Woods brings us the word of the day as given by the Lord. 2 Timothy 1, 6 through 12. That's 2 Timothy 1, 6 through 12. Make sure you crack open the Bible, see what God has for you today. Humble yourself before your God. Ask the Holy Spirit to interpret for you what the word says. So, yes, anyways, it's a good time. Good times we're having right now. Oh, yeah. I was going to say something else, and it just totally slipped my mind. Hey, I know. Now I'm broadcasting on all the channels today. And if you're on the channels, make sure you go follow me on Rumble. Rumble is where it's at. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8:30 Central Standard Time on Rumble and X. I'm only on Facebook or YouTube on Fridays because, like, for example, there's a post I would really love to share with y'all, but I can't. They'll be copyrighted. They'll be taken down. They'll tell me I can't talk about that. I'm the comment. I'm from Florida, and I don't normally look for them, but now I may be on the lookout, right? Show me your chemtrail if you live in Florida. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. We'll have a great conversation next week if you'll do that. And Mike, thank you for that post. It was first thing posted. I can't scroll back that far, but thank you for that. I appreciate it. He said good morning, everybody, and he did a little tip in the tip jar. And I don't talk about that as much as I used to, but down at the bottom in the chat room, there's a little dollar sign, or around the chat room area where your comment section is for the chat room. There's a little dollar sign. That's the tip jar. If you want to put a couple bucks into the tip jar, it highlights your comment and allows me to see it, and I'll thank you, and it helps support the show if that's what you choose to do. But the best thing you can do, the really bestest thing you can do right now, if you want to support the Patriot Mike Show, the bestest thing you can do is hit the thumbs up button. Just hit that. Or if you're on X, hit the heart button. If you're on Facebook, hit thumbs up, share, comment, all that stuff. If you're on YouTube, who cares? I don't know that anybody even watches me on YouTube. YouTube, 0 watchers. So that's okay. 186 on Rumble right now, and it'll get to about 500. It's just the way it is, and I don't care. YouTube sucks. Facebook sucks. YouTube sucks. They all suck. Hey, and if you want to support the Patriot Mike Show, several of you in the last 48 hours has went out because I asked you to and tried the new products from Neuva. I'll be ordering Nitro Body and the weight loss product on Monday. Thank you, Patriot. I was just going to bring it up. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. The products are game changers. Let me tell you, I've been taking all of them, trying them out, see what I like. The Neuva Snow Collagen works better. Works better than the BIOCELL. It is absolutely a game changer. I mean, I'm feeling it. I take it in the evening time now because I take Neuva Body and Neuva Nitro in the morning, and that's a whole lot of taking. So I spread it around a little bit, spread the love around. I'm down over 10 pounds on the Neuva Body. The Neuva Nitro has given me energy to boot. I got a very busy day today, so I need that energy. It's fantastic. And you know what's even crazier? This was one I haven't talked about much lately. I talked about it a little bit, but we also have Neuva Travel. It's a club. You join. It costs you $200 to get started. Then it's $40 a month after that. And why would you want to do this? Well, this doesn't make any sense. Well, right here is a purchase as a guy who went into Neuva Travel, and compared to the big travel companies, the ones you go on the internet, do the thing, it sets up, it looks just like it, and it gives you the comparison. I know it's hard to see, but basically he went to go to Miami, and he's saving over $400 on the trip. $400. This pays for his membership. So you can go to Neuva, you can sign up for Neuva Travel, and if you're going to do any traveling at all, it will save you a fortune. And it's available in like 190 countries. Mike says if you wait till 10 a.m. to take the nitro, you feel good. You feel good later in the day. I ate it. Yes, it usually lasts me till about 4 or 5 o'clock, but if you take it later, it'll last longer. I usually do that on Saturdays because I'm playing drums or whatever in the evening time, so it makes it better. It's a good thing. So go out. What I'm asking you to do is go out and give it a try. Go and take a look, see if something will work for you. Give it a try, give it a shot. Support the Patriot Mike Show. It means an awful lot to me that you guys do that. And thank you for those that did. But if you send me a text message to 660-620-2644 or an email at patriotmikeshow@gmail.com, which the email is the easiest this way, or the easiest is send me a message on Facebook. Send me a message on Facebook, and I'll hit the wrong button. I'll send you a link, and we'll get you started. It's good. All right, let's get started with the show. How you doing, Griff? Come on, you turn on the football game, and you sit through every 5 minutes. You got to go through 4 minutes of commercial, and you complain about me. Anyways, so let's get started. Speaking of commercials, talk about a segue. That's pretty good. So you had the American Eagle jeans with the hot chick and the Mustang. So Dunkin' Donuts decided they're going to get into the act.
Look, I didn't ask to be the king of summer. It just kind of happened. This tan? Genetics. I just got my color analysis back. Guess what? Golden summer. Literally. I can't help it. Every time I drink a Dunkin' Golden Hour refresher, it's like the sun just finds me. So if sipping these refreshers makes me the king of summer, guilty as charged. The Golden Hour refresher. Only a Dunkin'.
So Dunkin' Donuts is getting into the act with a commercial. The jean company went with the hot chick, and I guess he's a hot dude. I don't know, but my daughter seems to agree. But they just can't help themselves. The usual suspects on the left, the how shall we say, less than hot folks are terribly I bet he's more interested in gold. Hey, get that. We're on Facebook right now. Stop. I can't say those things. Oh, you guys in the chat room. You guys, you probably need your brain washed. I'm just saying. So here is the response from the socialists and the Nazis.
It's not that deep. They're just trying to say he tans well, he has good genes, and they're trying to make him attractive and then associate that with their drink and their brand. This has never been controversial. The simple existence of genetics. For
some reason it started in the middle instead of the beginning. Let's start at the beginning.
This tan? Genetics.
Who the coming out with one next? They're getting bold.
Dunkin' Donuts, you made a eugenics commercial too? They got them gas chambers up and running. Y'all can't convince me that they don't. This gotta be a psyop. If you hear genetics, you know what the is good. They are coming for us.
This is a new level of deranged. Yes, guys, it is a fact that your skin and how well it tans versus burns is genetic. The level of leaps you have to make to get from there to fascism, Nazi, whatever, is insane. It's not that deep. They're just trying to say he tans well, he has good genes, and they're trying to make him attractive and then associate that with their drink and their brand. This has never been controversial. The simple existence of genetics. They need to learn the difference between genetics and eugenics. Eugenics is when you try to breed a master perfect human race through selective breeding and through sterilizing undesirables and all this dystopian stuff, not simply acknowledging that some genes or some people have certain good genes that are desirable. That is not eugenics. That is just the existence of genetics. I think some of these people just resent hot people existing, particularly hot white people. I really do.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like Rush Limbaugh used to say, NAG, the National Association of Gals, NAG. It exists because ugly people want to feel important too. And he was right. Mike, you're not supposed to talk like that. Well, I done screwed up here. I have my things all set up and now it's not. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's all messed up. Well, I guess we'll just keep trying. One of these days I might even get this thing right. No, my something happened with my Telegram page, like it reset or something, updated, kicked me out of where I wanted to be. And now all my setup is off, so I have to kind of reset this thing up. And so I'm stalling. That's what's happening right here. So here is, we're going to start with the Russia. Russia is in the news because new reports have been dropped, new evidence has been given, and there's more evidence to come. Here is John Brennan yesterday on MSNBC, and listen to what he says.
The last couple of weeks, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard and CIA Director John Ratcliffe have been putting out very misleading and inaccurate reports about what was included in that intelligence community assessment.
The current CIA director, John Ratcliffe, has said he has now referred you and other members of the Obama administration to the Justice Department, accusing you of lying about this. Here's what he said just a few days ago.
That's why I've made the referrals that I have. DNI Gabbard has made referrals, and why we're going to continue to share the intelligence that would support the ability of our Department of Justice to make bring fair and just claims against those who have perpetrated this hoax against the American people and this stain on our country.
Director Brennan, have you been contacted by the DOJ?
No, I have not been contacted by the DOJ, by the FBI, by anybody who was not contacted by the CIA or the Office of Director of National Intelligence. Nobody has talked to me at all. I have testified repeatedly over the years consistently about what we did to expose Russian interference in the 2016 election and the creation and development of that intelligence community assessment that was done by the analysts who know Russia, who know cyber, who know counterintelligence matters. I didn't draft that estimate. Jim Clapper didn't draft that estimate. So again, I'm willing to talk to anybody. And if they want to talk to me, either Congress or Department of Justice, whatever, I'm ready to do so.
And he'll get there and drink the fifth. Watch. By the way, they've already got him in a perjury trap. And then, of course, here's another one. I'm going to go blow through a bunch of this stuff because there's a ton of information out today breaking on this stuff. Tulsi Gabbard is being interviewed. By the way, I highly recommend go to YouTube or Rumble or wherever Glenn Beck is at and watch that entire interview. It's a good interview. But here they are. Just listen.
John Kerry has made his account private. Peter Strzok deleted his entire X history. Are you sensing they feel the walls are closing in?
In my view, that's the only way that I can read this situation. Those who are truly innocent would not be taking those kinds of actions. And once again, this is why it's so important to declassify this information, to get the truth out, because it's something that for anyone who is mildly objective is irrefutable and undeniable. And can be used and is currently being reviewed by the Department of Justice to bring about accountability for those involved.
I believe that accountability is coming because I believe there's a chip on the shoulder of a couple people. There's a chip on the shoulder. So Tim Burchett says he thinks there's a paper trail of money that was sent overseas that ended up back in the pockets of lawmakers in Washington, D.C. He said there will soon be a lot of retirements. What did I say? What have I said? Won't be able to hold a quorum? Self-deporting? That's the USAID money. That's the Act Blue. And by the way, Act Blue ain't the only one. Red Wave is the Republican version of Act Blue. And they had a bunch of little tiny small donations from elderly folk too. It's called money laundering. Is this a prophetic sign? Fall in the fall? Yesterday, Elizabeth Warren took a tumble in the Senate.
Affirmative. Baldwin, Blunt Rochester, Durbin, Heinrich, Morono, Kane.
Look who came to his rescue.
Kane,
Her rescue.
Klobuchar.
What a gentleman. What a gentleman. There he is, coming to the rescue. I don't know. Is that a sign, or is it just a coinky dink? I don't know. Just interesting. That's all. Just interesting is all that is. FBI Director Kash Patel we uncovered this annex along with thousands of other documents buried in the back room at the FBI. It revealed highly classified piece of Durham report, evidence that the Clinton campaign plotted to frame President Trump and fabricated the Russia collusion hoax. We worked with Chairman Grassley and declassified the documents immediately. And now the American people can see the truth for themselves. The Russian hoax was a disgrace that President Trump and our country should have never been put through. This should be a step towards justice. There will be more to come. Your FBI will keep being relentless to get the truth out. We're thankful for our federal partners, the Justice Department, and more. And thank you, Chuck Grassley, for your tireless investigative work. It is. It's like watching clients in an assisted living facility. You must be talking about Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, it's just a bunch of old guys scootering around. Oh, Donald Trump says this. He's pointing something out. Donald Trump's having trouble getting his administration through the Senate. He says, this is what Democrats are doing. Our nation, they are refusing to approve some of the best nominees in the history of the country. If we had George Washington and Abraham Lincoln lined up, they would do everything in their power to delay and disapprove. This should never be allowed to happen. And it has never happened before. And this just shows. So this is Herbert Walker Bush, and this is the percentage of civilian nominees confirmed by voice vote or unanimous consent. That's basically where they stand up and say, motion to approve the deputy director of popcorn popping or whatever it is. And they say under unanimous consent. And then they go, no! And then they want to have debate. They want to delay it. And they want to do everything they can to slow the process. But 98% of Herbert Walker Bush's appointees were under unanimous consent. 98% for Clinton. 90% for Bush. 90% for Obama. 65% for Trump, first term. 57% for Joe, and 0% thus far this year that had to fight for every single nominee. Every single one of them. Here is Mike Davis with Bannon. And I think this is important because what Mike Davis says in the end about the reason, because I've said it, it confirms what I've said, the reason the Mar-a-Lago raid happened.
Shells in it for Hillary Clinton, Brennan Clapper, the whole crew. Tell us about Grassley, the man, sir.
I worked for Senator Chuck Grassley twice. I opened his mail right out of college, and then I was his chief counsel for nominations on the Senate Judiciary Committee 17 years later. I talked to Senator Grassley yesterday. I talked to him today. He is the same man he has been for 65 years in politics, and he's never lost an election. He is dogged. He is determined. He is principled. And when he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it, as we just saw with his release of these Crossfire hurricane records. When I've been coming on your show, Steve, and we've been talking about how the Mar-a-Lago raid was to get back these damning Crossfire hurricane records, and then the subsequent lawfare was to try to shut up, to bankrupt, to imprison, to even get President Trump killed. It's because of these Crossfire hurricane records. This is the biggest scandal in American history. And when I have been saying on your show with you for 3 years that these lawfare Democrats better lawyer up, this is what I mean by this. These records that are coming out show that President Obama, Vice President Biden, Hillary Clinton, the CIA, the Justice Department, including the FBI, they made up the Russian collusion hoax. They made it up to help Hillary Clinton's campaign and to destroy President Trump's campaign. And when they failed, they tried to destroy his presidency. When he declassified these Crossfire hurricane records and tried to get him out before he left office in 2021, they've tried to destroy him. This is all coming out. This is all an ongoing criminal conspiracy against rights, or at a minimum, much, much worse, maybe, under 18 U.S.C. Section 241. I promise you that people are going to go to prison. So that's going to happen. Nobody is above the law. Presidential immunity for Obama may apply while he's in the White House. It certainly does not apply to President Obama when he's continuing to cover up a criminal conspiracy as the former president after he left the White House. And I think President Trump made a big mistake in his first term by not prosecuting Hillary Clinton. And I don't think they're going to make that mistake this time.
We're going to go to break. You know Grassley. You know how dogged he is. People I know in the intelligence area, investigative area, and Natalie's going to join us here in a moment, I have said, hey, this beyond a shadow of doubt, we can move very quickly. Do you believe what you've seen so far, and the reason Grassley was so dogged on this, is that the Mar-a-Lago raid now, you feel pretty comfortable with what you originally said, that Mar-a-Lago raid had nothing to do with President Trump taking some classified stuff from the archives. It was all about going down, getting information away from him. You think that this supports what you've seen so far, and this declassification supports that?
100%, or I wouldn't have said it. I've been saying this for 3 years, and my nearly 5,000 media hits supporting and defending President Trump, and many of them on your show, Steve. And I know I'm crazy.
So Mar-a-Lago, they were trying to find these documents. I don't think Donald Trump had the documents there. I think Donald Trump had the documents at a secure location. I think he had them. I think he's had them all along. It's just, how do you release them? And how do you Nailer Otten or Nail Rotten, whatever your name is. Steve Bannon is a grifting drunk. Well, probably. I don't disagree. But Mike Davis isn't. So it is, that interview was not about Steve Bannon. It was about Mike Davis. So, you got to get the information where you get the information from, and that's where it came from. So it is what it is. And of course, Donald Trump. Donald Trump lashes out at ABC reporter. This is fantastic. You just got to love it. Donald Trump is so great with his quips and his comebacks.
Week between this executive order, trade Russia, Gaza, but also the family of Virginia Giuffre released a statement overnight in response to some of the comments that you made this week. You said that Jeffrey Epstein stole people from Mar-a-Lago. At the time, did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia?
No, I didn't know. I would figure it was ABC fake news that would ask that question, one of the worst. But no, I don't know really why. But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing. I didn't like it, and we threw him out. We said we don't want him, at the place. This is a story that's been known for many years, as you know. But it's, I didn't like it that he was doing that. Yeah, please. Say it again.
If Canada moves forward with
So that's not the one I thought it was. There's another one that's even better than that one. There's one that's even better than that one. So, and of course, he signed an executive order to bring back fitness training and the presidential standards in elementary school and high school, which is a good thing. And he had a bunch of sports stars around him, including he had from the Kansas City Chiefs kicker Butker, and this is what he says about him.
Taylor, he's an incredible guy, and just been my friend a long time. Haven't we? Knew him forever. One of the most accurate kickers in NFL history. A young guy still. He can kick it long. I think he's. I guess he's considered the best there is in the business. Harrison Butker. So Harrison, where are you, Harrison? He's a handsome guy, by the way. It's usually not my thing, but he is a good-looking sucker. One of the truly greatest golfers ever to play on the LPGA Tour. A lot of
not my kind of thing, but he is a good-looking guy. Kansas City Chiefs. He's been an excellent kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, there's another great kicker out there for the New Orleans Saints, a young kicker. Really had a good year last year. Saints didn't, but the kicker did, and that's Groupie. You know, any Saints fan out there in the audience, because he's from right here in Central Missouri. That's why I bring it up. So throw him a little bit of bone. It's kind of like there was a meme going around last year when he or the year before, whenever it was, that he got on the Saints. He was undrafted, went and tried out, and made the team, and everybody was really proud of him here. And he said Missouri. They said Missouri's all red for the Kansas City Chiefs, except for this little tiny itty bitty New Orleans right here in Central Missouri, just for him. So that's good. Hometown boy makes it great. It makes it big in the NFL. That's it's always a good story. So anyways, a lot of work went into that. A lot of time went into that. So here is Fox News. Fox News responding to John Brennan, accusing the DNI and the CIA directors of lying.
That those conclusions and those findings were accurate. They were based on intelligence. And so there was no dispute about it, except when there are partisans who come out in support of Donald Trump right now.
Your reaction to that, Senator?
I happened to be on the Senate Intelligence Committee at that time, and I would beg to differ with the reports. We watched Russia playing both sides of this campaign. Russia's goal was to be able to confuse everything and everybody. Russia was trying to be able to pursue ways they could get into voting machines and into secretaries of state's offices. They were actively doing that. But at the same time, Hillary Clinton was working with Russian contacts to try to create this false Russian story and to be able to drive that. That's what actually CIA, including Brennan, was trying to rush through and find ways to be able to prove. So he's trying to be able to convolute multiple different issues there. Russia was definitely trying to interfere in both sides of the election. But Donald Trump did not hire a Russian group to try to interfere with Hillary Clinton campaign. Hillary Clinton hired a Russian group to try to interfere with Donald Trump.
I want to put the portion of the Durham report annex revealing emails tied to the Soros Foundation, Senator, and get your reaction to this. Saying, quote, the media analysis on the DNC hacking appears solid. Julie says it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Now it's good for post-convention bounce. Later, the FBI will put more oil into the fire. More from the Durham report annex revealing emails tied to the Soros Foundation. HRC approved Julie's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. Senator John Kennedy, your colleague, Republican colleague from Louisiana, responded to our Fox report on Soros's alleged ties to Russiagate, saying, quote, the more we learn about the origins of Russiagate probe, the more it appears our law enforcement and intelligence agencies were weaponized against President Trump. Americans deserve maximum accountability and transparency. Senator, I'll get a final thought from you.
Yeah, we need maximum transparency. We need enforcement of the law. This should be consistent. I have every confidence in the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi and what will happen as they walk through this process to say, let's get the facts and the information out so finally the American people can know. I would tell you, people that I know in Oklahoma have said for years, this doesn't smell right. This continues to be able to come public to them to be able to say, that's what I thought. And they're getting a chance to be able to get the facts behind it. So that's a good thing. I have to tell you, just as a person of faith, I always say, what is whispered in the secret place will one day be shouted from the housetops. It's a good thing for all this information to be able to come out and let people see it in the daylight.
Senator James Langford from the Great.
So it's coming out. They're starting to panic and they're starting to freak out, which is cool by me. Patriot 2360. I need the link, Mike. I can't put the link in the comments. I can't, with the software I have, I can't comment. It's a challenge. So text message 660-620-2644, PatriotMikeShow@gmail.com, or send me a message on Facebook. I think it's let me just pull it up. This is for people that wanted to get the link to the new products that are supporting the Patriot Mike Show, the Neuva products. It's of course the doggone thing's covering it. It's Mike Cook 82 on Facebook. At Mike Cook 82 on Facebook will bring up my personal page at Mike Cook 82, where you can send me a message, or there are links in the description section. If you're on Rumble, just scroll down and you'll see the links right there. It says these are the links, and you want the link for Neuva Travel. That I need to change the wording because it's been updated. So that's the link you want for unless you want the Neuva body, then that has its own link. It's pretty simple, as much as I can complicate it anyway. Just wanted to let you know. All right, since you were asking, like I said, send me a message. I'll send you the link directly. That's probably the easiest way for you. And I appreciate it. By the way, the stock market is now down 732 points. That's a lot. I'm just saying. Got to jump ahead of here a little bit. Where was I for? I was so rudely interrupted myself. Oh, we got John Solomon coming up here. John Solomon is, he says this about the information that is now coming out. He says, this is the smoking gun evidence inside the Durham Annex. If authenticated by further investigation, it means literal mega donor George Soros' team knew the whole Clinton plan for Russiagate hoax 4 days before FBI opened up probe. And so did Obama, Brennan, and Comey. It suggests there was a direct evidence of a GRU attack on the DNC server. And we all know that's not what happened. And we're going to get into that too. It says, this is from Leonard Bernardo. Hi, HRC approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russia hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing emails. The real criminality. What have I been telling you? Let me just stop. I got to stop right there. Take off my reading glasses, put on my seeing glasses, and I got to back. I've been telling you over and over again that Russia is not the crime. Although it is a crime. It is treason. It is all those things, but it is the cover-up of the crime, and the crime is the thing that when it comes out, we will sit in sackcloth and ashes and cry out to a vengeful God for the things the United States of America has done around the world in the last 50 years in our name. Let me put that back up and let me read it again. What's in the missing emails? What's in the missing emails? Let me read it. HRC, that'd be Hillary Roberts Clinton, approved Julia's idea. Trump and Russia hackers hampering with U.S. election. That should distract people from her missing emails, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. They're hoping that it gets viral. The point is making the Russia play a U.S. domestic issue, saying something like critical infrastructure threat for the election to feel menace since both POTUS and Vice POTUS have acknowledged the fact that IC would spin up searching for evidence that is regrettably still unavailable. In other words, we don't have any evidence, but we'll find some. We'll make it up. It's all right. It's good. It's no problem. However, there seems to be signs GRU penetrated. And give some reference here. They appear hardly skilled, incompetent, bumbling idiots, as somebody called them. In absence of direct evidence, CrowdStrike and Threat Connect, write those names down. We got more to say about them today, will supply the media. Let me say that again for the people sitting in the back room saying this is nothing but a conspiracy theory. CrowdStrike and Threat Connect will supply the media, and GRU will hopefully carry on to give more facts. So we're hoping the GRU will create more facts for us to. And CrowdStrike will supply the media with the wrap-up smear, according to Nancy Pelosi. We give it to the media. We create an idea. We give it to the media. The media spins it up. Then we point at the media and say, see. And then we merchandise it. Write that down. CrowdStrike. Write that down. I've mentioned it before several times in the last several years, saying that that's the stuff, the Russia stuff is not the crime. It's the cover-up of the crime.
The most hopeful.
It's the cover-up the crime. I'll get back to Charlie Kirk on that. He's just talking demographics and stuff, and that's not that important. Here it is. It's starting to make it out into the media. Fox News is covering it, which they'd never covered before. By the way, it was Fox News, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Dan Bongino when he was at Fox, and he's repented of this, by the way, who stopped talking about the stolen election when they were told to. They're all part of this. But I digress. Breaking bombshell dossier from FBI burn bag claims Hillary approved plot to smear Trump over Russia. Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign likely ginned up Trump-Russia collusion. Trump-Russia collusion. Trump-Russia collusion. Trump-Russia collusion. Isn't that what they said? Isn't that what they said over and over and over?
Sort of collusion. Russian possible collusion. Russian metal collusion. Trump Russia possible collusion. Trump Russian potentially collusion. Trump Russia possible collusion. Trump Russian possible collusion. Trump Russian collusion. Trump Russian collusion. Trump Russia possible collusion. Trump Russian possible collusion. Russian collusion. Trump Russian possible collusion. Trump Russian possible collusion. Trump Russians collusion. Collusion with the Russians. Trump Russia possible collusion. 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 Trump Russia potential collusion. Trump Russia potential collusion. And the Kremlin and be in collusion with Putin and the Kremlin and be in collusion and Putin and the Kremlin and be in collusion. 17 agencies. 17 of our intelligence agencies have confirmed our intelligence agencies. 17 of them.
17 of our intelligence agencies. Hillary Clinton 2016 campaign likely ginned up the Trump-Russia possible collusion conspiracy and wanted the Obama FBI to help. They did help, according to bombshell new intelligence documents recently recovered from a burn bag that was back. Now, there's been some conversation, even on some of my posts on Facebook, that the burn bags were to protect them from being burnt up. No. You got it wrong. You got it wrong. Wrong. The burn bags were specifically designed so that when you took a look at a top secret classified document in your office, you're a bureaucrat and you're read in on a program and you're reading the document, and then it says destroy this document upon reading. You put it into a burn bag in which some peon will collect from your office on a daily, weekly, monthly basis and take somewhere and burn it. Only somebody took these burn bags and stored them away in a secret closet somewhere within the FBI. And you have to ask yourself, why, oh, why, oh, why? Why? Here is Tulsi Gabbard's response. I think the whistleblowers hid them on purpose. I agree. I think that this is the new Snow. It says when a new Snowden arises, this is the arising. We are in that season, ladies and gentlemen. Then comes, they say we'll have no protection. Then comes weapons of war and men's strong legs. DNI Tulsi Gabbard, new whistleblower. That's what you just said. I think a whistleblower. Listen to this. Whistleblower reveals how they were threatened by supervisors to go along with the Obama-directed Trump-Russian possible collusion hoax. Russia. Intelligence assessment, even though they knew it was not credible or accurate. The whistleblower refused. Yesterday, we released the whistleblower's firsthand account of what happened in the crafting of the January 2017 ICA, their years-long effort to expose the erroneous manipulation and manufacturing of intelligence carried out by the highest levels of government, and the ICA detained in our previous releases, and how they were repeatedly ignored. Thank you to this courageous whistleblower and others who are coming forward, so there's more than one, putting their own well-being in the line to defend our democratic republic, ensure the American people know the truth, and hold those responsible accountable. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are there.
Tell me how significant this is.
We are there. Yep. Clinton's team pushed. It was the Clinton's team, the media. They were all in cahoots.
Annex. Leonard writes about a Clinton campaign advisor named Julianne. She's also referred to by Julie and Julia. One of the emails says, Julie says it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Now it is good for a post-convention bounce. Later, the FBI will put more oil into the fire. In another email obtained by Durham, Leonard allegedly wrote, HRC, meaning Hillary Rodham Clinton, approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. Now, Mr. Durham interviewed Julie, who told him that she didn't draft or recall receiving any of these Leonard emails. The annex goes on to explain that the FBI was fully alerted to the possibility that at least some of the information it received about the Trump campaign might have origins with the Clinton campaign or Russian disinformation, but the FBI apparently dismissed that information, quote, as not credible without any investigative steps actually having been taken to either corroborate or disprove the allegations. I want to be clear, we've reached out to those mentioned in this annex that I just brought up in this report, but we have yet to hear back. Harris.
David, you are on it. Like I said, it has barely been an hour that this is breaking. So thank you very much for the update on it.
Sure.
Let's get to this.
So it's all starting to build in. It's all coming together. Here's Senator Grassley's key finding. I'm not going to go. We'll break this down a different way. This thing's too long for me to read on the show. Take me all day, and you'll all be bored. So I'm not going to do that. But we'll cover it another way. There's other ways to cover it. For example, we'll just here's some. This is they were just sitting around literally making stuff up about Donald Trump. I suggest doing something about a task force from someone I don't know, some dark forces like the FBI, for instance, or better yet, Clinton sympathizers in the IC Pentagon, deep state, or somewhere else, and about American websites deploying a campaign to demonize the actions of Russia, GRU, acting in accordance with the orders by VP or Vladimir Putin to undermine the forces of good in the elections in the interest of Donald Trump, who is basically an agent of influence. So they're just throwing stuff out there. Would that be okay? We don't really have anything. We're just going to float some crap. This is inside the report from Durham. This is inside the report from Durham. So here is this is not John Solomon, Jonathan Turley. Is this John? I don't know, too many names in my head. On the Durham report, doggone it.
And all of this required this all on deck effort, the government, the campaign, the media. That's why when you see the reaction of the media today, it's clear that no matter what is produced, you can show a dozen heads in a duffel bag and they're still not impressed. And the reason is that for most of the media, this is not coverage. It would be a confession. That is, if they actually cover this story, they are confessing their own role in what may be the greatest political hit job in history.
That is a great question, Maureen. That is a great question. Why did Durham whitewash this? He didn't. Durham did not whitewash this. The DOJ classified this information at the highest levels and didn't give him classification to talk about. Once he put together the report, he turned the report over to the DOJ. The DOJ immediately classified all of this information. It would have been Garland that did it. There's a prophecy. I will hang a garland around their neck. He classified this to the highest level, took it out of the report so that it couldn't be talked about, and then intended to burn it. And someone held on to it. But God. So that is an excellent question. Durham didn't. Durham's hands was tied. Here's another question. With all of this coming to a head, what do you think the deep state's next move? Well, I think they're going to lash out in some way. There's a lot of prophetic word out there. There's a lot of word out there. A lot of things out there. Like I said, it's the next. Get ready. That's all I got to say. Go get a couple cans of Beanie Weenies and get ready, because they're gonna pull out all those. They got to. They don't have a choice. They're going down. They don't have a choice. And like Jonathan Turley was saying right there about the media cannot cover this, because if they cover it, then they're confessing, because they went along with it. I just played the video. Trump, Russia, possible collusion, Trump, Russia. And they all knew where this came from. They all knew this was Hillary Clinton via Ted Cruz research, opposition research, and it was a big total pile of BS. But they reported it anyways. And again, I say, this is not the crime. It is a crime, but it's not the crime. This is the cover-up of the crime. Hillary Clinton was not supposed to lose. All of this would have been buried, burned, packed away, never to see the light of day. The Epstein stuff, the Russia stuff, the impeachment stuff, all this stuff. Donald Trump would have been arrested, convicted, killed, and buried under the prison. His whole family destroyed, his assets seized. Hillary Clinton would be living in Mar-a-Lago right now. After finishing her 2 terms. And we would probably all be living in concentration camps, but that's a whole, with what, and everybody would have had to take 69 vaccines, and our DNA would have changed into, I don't know, lizard people or something. I don't know. A little hyperbole there. I saw that, Q. I saw that, what you're talking about. Q says this, trust Ray Q. And he's the one who hasn't come up. This is true. No one's talking about Christopher Wray, FBI. There is some talk about him because he may have perjured himself, but there is some conversation that the only one that had access to those burn bags that Garland and the DOJ would have taken out of the Durham report to keep people from seeing it was Christopher Wray. And that he may have been the one that preserved them, and that he may be one of the Snowden whistleblowers. I'll hang a garland around your neck. Now, this is the cover-up of the crime. What's the crime? It's the stuff that was on the emails. What was on the emails? I don't know. Podesta inviting people to spirit cooking parties. Podesta showing off his artwork. All of the insurance policy on the Anthony Weiner laptop. By the way, did you know that PBD, Patrick Ben David podcast, had Anthony Weiner on? And they asked him a question, and Anthony Weiner went off.
Pretty dark to take the angle you did.
Listen to me. Talking conference now.
Oh, okay.
You should cut that list out.
Your reputation is you like to text underage girls, sending pictures of your dangling. That's your reputation. Whatever you do, you can't do anything about it. Bill Clinton officiated your wedding with Uma, your wife, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. So you've been very close, and she was a right-hand.
Okay, pause it there because we're talking about Uma, who's now married to George Soros Jr., whose name is coming up in all this stuff. Stay tuned.
With Uma, your wife, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. So you've been very close, and she was a right-hand person to Hillary Clinton in 2016 while the scandal was taking place.
For years before that, she was with Hillary for 20 years.
Email, 650,000, one folder with the word life insurance and the files that are in there. So 9 out of 12 cops, NYPD, who saw the email and saw what was in that laptop, committed suicide. And the most ever that this took place, and these are the men that committed suicides. First thing I ask myself is, how the hell is Anthony Weiner still alive? Well, when you go through the list.
And let me pause it right there. How is Anthony Weiner still alive? Let me show you how he's still alive. Keep watching.
First thing I ask myself is, how the hell is Anthony Weiner still alive? Well, when you go through the list of people that have been close to Hillary Clinton and the Clintons, this is not a conspiracy. You got the names of James McDougal, died of an apparent heart attack. Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern, was murdered July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop. Victor Razor, you got Ed Woolley. It's 46 names.
He's just reading the article. He's reading a list of names.
So
he hasn't even asked a question. It's a list.
The fact that you're getting nervous is an answer.
It's not nervous. This stuff makes me sick when you repeat these ridiculous. How about you pick one? Pick one.
Scared to death. He's going to be next.
Vince Foster, that suicide has been investigated 50 times.
Can you let me ask the question?
No, listen, this is a conversation.
No.
We're having a conversation.
I'm sorry. I'm the host. You invite me to your podcast. You get to ask the question. I'm the host. I want to ask you the question. Your reaction is already an answer.
I know. I am infuriated by people who drag other
why
people's
you
names
would be.
who are powerless. You're not powerless.
Hillary Clinton is powerless?
No, these people.
Hillary Clinton is powerless.
These people.
That's the problem.
These people.
Hillary's the problem.
You read a list of people. because you have the
establishment
power to
people.
do it.
I don't-
People who do that are
I have
bullies,
the
and
power
I don't
to do-
appreciate bullies.
I have the power to do what?
You do. To read a
do
list
what?
of some
I have
stranger's
the power to
names.
use the DOJ and other things to control and
That's
hide
not
things.
DOJ.
Yeah.
DOJ didn't make this
let
list.
me finish up my
Some
question.
jackass made a list in his
You have
basement.
the right to
You're reading their
answer.
names as if they're incriminating
You
in
have
some
the
way.
right to-
Some conspiracy theory podcast, a conspiracy theory that
Oh,
9 people
I
read.
got you.
You find some guy that comes in, and then
Congratulations,
you
buddy.
go from Ron Brown to some obscure officer
Yes.
that used to protect Bill Clinton, who passed away.
How is it that the reputation that follows them as people close to them die?
You
Pretty
should cut
dark
that
to take
list
the
out.
angle you did. You're
You should
exactly.
cut. Listen to me. You're talking
Yeah,
conference
yeah,
now.
yeah. Oh, okay.
You should cut that list out of those
Sure,
people. We can still
absolutely.
have the argument. You and I are big boys.
Okay, I got to pause it one more. I got to pause it one more time. You should cut that list out. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm telling you. You should cut that list out. What is that? I think that's a threat. You should cut that list out. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm telling you. If you know what's good for you, you'd cut that list out. Remember the movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg? And the FBI agent with the contraption. Remember that scene? You should cut that out. Sounds like a threat to me.
That follows them as people close to them die.
You
Pretty
should cut
dark to
that
take
list
the
out.
angle you did. You're
You should cut.
exactly.
Listen to me. You're talking
Yeah,
conference
yeah,
now.
yeah. Oh, okay.
You should cut that list out of those
Sure,
people. We can still
absolutely.
have the argument. You and I are big boys.
absolutely.
Cut that list
I'm
out.
not going to be cutting that list.
Things are getting really fun. If you want to lose weight, watch the breakfast comments on my show. I've been seeing them talking about bug flour or whatnot. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Combine that with some Neuva body and it'll accelerate. I think I'll be fasting today. Gotta have strong stomachs, so read the comments in the Patriot Mike Show. I'm just saying. So Patrick Ben David is calling him out. Calling him out. Now here's a little more. Just a little more.
Senate Republicans just tried to pass a resolution calling for the immediate release of all files that have to do with the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell case. The Republicans entered unanimous consent for this bill, and then the Democrats objected to it. They shot it down. This is Republicans doing everything they can to try to get you the Epstein files. Like I said, they entered unanimous consent for it. That is, every single Republican in the Senate said release this shit. And Democrats objected to it, so now it's not going forward. In fact, the Democrats aren't even going to let it be brought to the floor for a debate. They have shot down any chance of it being brought up for a vote. Like, what else do you want the Republicans to do here? They are trying to release these fucking files. They all came together and said, let's release this shit. And then Democrats fucking stopped them. And look, I know you Democrats and you liberals didn't give a fuck about these files over the last 4 years, but now you're acting like you do. So do us a favor and tell your fucking Democrats to get in line.
Yep. They tried to pass the Epstein thing, and what I tell you, the Democrats don't want the Epstein stuff. They don't want the Epstein stuff. They want the argument for the election, but they don't want it out. They definitely don't want it out. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want it out at all. At all. You know, it's kind of like this. So the Democrats are all upset about the Sydney Sweeney commercial. If they were telling the truth, this is what they would really say. And this is for entertainment purposes only. It's created by AI. Come on, I'm on Facebook and YouTube right now, suckers.
Look, all we're saying is that we want representation, okay? If Republicans are going to have beautiful girls with perfect titties in their ads, we want ads for Democrats too, you know? We want ugly, fat bitches wearing pink wigs and long-ass fake nails being loud and twerking on top of a cop car at a Waffle House because they didn't get extra ketchup, you know? Just because we're the party of ugly people doesn't mean we can't be featured in ads, okay? And I know most of us are too fat to wear jeans or too ugly to go outside, but we want representation.
Oh, what she said. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop. I'll get to that one later. We can talk about Donald Trump's big ballroom he's building. It says, good summary of what the FBI found in the declassified for the first time ever, more to come. And then Charlie Kirk says newly declassified documents from the Durham report appendix made public by Senator Grassley indicate intel community was fully aware of Hillary Clinton's campaign plan to falsely tie President Trump to Russia. I can't read the fine print. It's too small, but you get the point. It's coming out from everywhere. Twerking at Waffle House. You're right. Oh, someone's got to catch that chair, though. So Hillary Clinton, 2016, 10/7/2016, 10/31/2016. This was supposed to be the October surprise that would win the election for Hillary Rodham Clinton. It should concern every American that Russia is willing to engage in such hostile acts in order to help Donald Trump become president. Computer sciences have apparently uncovered, by the way, this is completely false. Computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking the Trump organization to a Russian bank. Never happened. Mike, you're putting too much information on the chat board. I'm just saying. George Papadopoulos, he's the one they framed the first time, says there's 14 pages missing from the declassified Durham index. I wonder what's on those 14 pages. I wonder if that's the more to come. The more to come. We shall see. We shall definitely see. Now here, this is from Amuse, and these are burn bags right here. Example of burn bags. You put the documents in there, and then they throw them in the fire. Unknown. In fact, if you watch that Tulsi Gabbard interview by Glenn Beck, she talks about it. She says that the burn bags, you have them. You're in your office, and you're reading something that once you're done with it, you should put it. It should be destroyed. So you put it in the burn bag, and some staffer comes along and collects them and burns them. Anyway, unknown FBI hero saved thousands of classified documents from being burned. According to FBI Director Kash Patel, thousands of classified Trump Russia investigation documents were found in burn bags in a secret room in the Hoover building. Someone had intended for the evidence to be destroyed, but it appears that someone else decided to intervene and save the documents for posterity. Patel has turned over the documents to Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley. One of the documents found in the burn bag was previously unseen classified annex to one of them. There's more to come. To classified annex to former Special Counsel John Durham's final report that they hid away and thought no one would ever know. Who's going to know? Who's going to know? They're going to know. Who's going to know? They're going to know. I will lift up your clothes and reveal your nakedness, is what God says. Yep. Exposing it all. Oh, this is the one I thought it was. Donald Trump goes off on a reporter. This is the one that I thought right here. I was playing earlier.
Why didn't you invoke this law in your first term? You could have taken in billions upon billions of dollars in your first term, but you waited until your second.
Yeah, because in my first term, I was fighting lunatics like you who were trying to do things incorrectly and inappropriately to a president that was duly elected. And we did do certain tariffs in the first term. If you look at China, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. But when COVID came, the last thing I was going to do is tell France and Italy and Spain and a couple of other countries that we're going to hit you with tariffs. We had to fight the COVID situation.
Lunatics like you kept getting in the way. Tipton, Missouri? No, Tipton, Missouri is you're good. Everybody else will be armed anyway. Mike's asking a question. He wants to know if he's headed to Tipton, Missouri to pick up a gun. Oops, that's the wrong one. Oops, sorry about that. Or see, headed to Tipton, Missouri this weekend to get a car body. Do we need to pack a gun? No. I mean, yes, you should always have a firearm with you everywhere you go. But Tipton, Missouri, everybody else is going to have one. It's going to be all right. Tipton, Missouri is red-blooded Americans. It's a great place. While you're in Tipton, Missouri, I highly suggest, just as you're going on 50 Highway, if you're going east from downtown Tipton, on the right-hand side is a big Amish store. They got fresh baked. They got a deli. Get a sandwich. They're excellent. They got fresh baked bread and pie. Sometimes you go out there and the bread's still warm. They got all kinds of bulk food items, fresh fruit, homemade cheeses, all kinds of stuff. So if you're in Tipton, Missouri, highly, highly recommend. Stop in there. Get yourself a, banana bread or something, apple pie, maybe some fresh homemade bread. It's a great place. You should try it. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. It's big. You can't miss it. It's one of the biggest things in Tipton. So anyways, if you're in Tipton, that's a good place to, I don't know which way you're coming from, but that's a good place to be. For sure. You'll see it. If you're downtown Tipton, 5 Highway and 50 Junction right there, if that's where you are, head east from there, or excuse me, head west from there. You can't miss the place. You'll be glad you did. Lots of good stuff. And if you go over to the refrigerated section, they've got some soda pops, some oddball soda pops in there, and there's one in there that is orange cream. It's in a bottle. It's orange cream or something along that lines. Oh, you're coming from Detroit. Oh. It ain't like Detroit, my friend. You're good. Trust me. But watch out for the Amish buggies. That's all I got to say. You're fine. Tipton is, I think there might be a couple thousand people in that town, maybe. But if you're in there, and there's a one, it's called orange cream or something like that. You remember the orange cream popsicles, the ones with the orange and then the cream in the middle that you get from the ding ding guys he drives by. You remember those? It tastes like that. It's fantastic. Every time I go there, I get one. You need to carry to get out of Detroit. Ain't that the truth? Oh. See, we talk about Jerome Powell. Let's see. Okay, we talked about CrowdStrike. Somebody's pointing this out. In absence of direct evidence, CrowdStrike and Threat Connect will supply the media. That's right down at the bottom of that commentary that I read earlier. In absence of direct evidence, right here, starts right there. In absence of direct evidence, CrowdStrike and Threat Connect will supply the media. Supply the media. CrowdStrike isn't an IT firm. It's a Democrat Party protection racket caught running interference for Hillary while cosplaying as a cybersecurity expert. Burn it all down and salt the earth. CrowdStrike is who, when Russia raided the DNC servers and got all the information, they sent the servers. The FBI sent the servers. The FBI's never investigated the leaks, the DNC server hack. Seth Rich never investigated. They sent the servers and the hard drives to CrowdStrike, who came out and said it was Russia. And it goes round and round and round and round and round. Cat Turd said this: be ashamed. I think it meant be a shame, but you know, the stupid AI on my Samsung would do the same thing. If arrest Hillary started trending, so everybody go over to X and hashtag arrest Hillary, right? Cat Turd also commented and said, Hillary put this out knowing it was a setup that she was involved with. She knew all along. They all knew. Every single one of them knew this was it. Now, talking about that same one, that same little post I've been talking about 3 times now, I brought it up. Fanta red cream beans, Fanta orange cream. This isn't Fanta, by the way, Tart and Feather. The stuff I'm talking about is some local brand. It is not Fanta. Not even way better. I won't drink Fanta. I can't. Not that interested. But this stuff is good. Just saying. So here it is. Seth Rich uploaded the DNC server emails and gave them to WikiLeaks. Then the Clintons killed Seth Rich for entertainment purposes only over on Facebook and YouTube. We're just discussing, for fun, for funsies, unproven, unallegated conspiratorial theories. We all got our tinfoil hats on, so we're safe. Then Hillary and Obama used the Russian hack to lie to spy on Trump and frame him. And then they continued undermining his presidency with their operation. Evil. It's not just evil, it's criminal. It's not just evil, it's treason. If you are trying to take out a sitting president of the United States of America from within the government, within the United States, you are committing seditious conspiracy and treason.
It's just awfully good that.
Oh, yeah. We get you. Remember. She knew when she said this. She knew at this time.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
We want to remind the audience to please not talk out loud. Please do not applaud. You're just wasting time.
Well, we were wasting time, that's for sure. She was never supposed to lose. Is it called Saltzman soda? I have no idea. I don't remember the name of it. I just know where it is in the case. Over there at the Mennonite Amish store in Tipton, Missouri. So I'm just saying, if you're in the neighborhood, go check them out. Get yourself a nice pie, a couple of loaves of bread, and one of them orange cream sodas. Oh my gosh. And somebody's saying, oh, soda's bad. Yes, soda's bad. So what? You know, the number one single cause of death in this world is life. And life is a contagious disease. Anyways.
There's new evidence.
Okay, that's 7 minutes. That's a 7-minute long, but I'm going to play. AI suggests it might be called Cutstown. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I just know it's there. You'll see it. If you go, you'll see it. Here is Victor David Hansen on the Russia stuff.
This week in the news, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, made a discovery that are pertinent to the so-called Russian collusion hoax. The intelligence agencies knew from information from the Dutch that there was no Russian collusion. That was known to John Brennan. That was known to James Clapper. That was probably known to the FBI. But they have notes. They have information that when they prepared this daily, weekly digest of intelligence updates to Barack Obama in 2016 and into 2017, he ignored it. He did not want to hear that. It was almost like, you find me the crime and I'll give you the criminal. Just get me a narrative that Donald Trump is colluding with the Russians and we'll spread it. And spread it they did. If it's credible, then you have a conspiracy of the top people in the United States intelligence and investigative communities conspiring with a sitting president of the United States to destroy Donald J. Trump.
Yep. Seditious conspiracy. Seditious. Now, y'all know this famous one. This was just before Donald Trump's inauguration that Chucky Schumer said this. And when he said this, he knew. They were, all of them, in on it. All of them.
Take on the intelligence community. They have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
He knew. He knew. He knew. And Donald Trump responded just the other day to that.
Focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference.
I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. They had 6 ways of Sunday getting back to you, and they took their swing at the king, and they didn't kill him. They didn't lock him up. And now it's coming back around. And Dan Scavino had a ton of posts here. He says, they Dems thought Trump and those close with him would be in prison by now. That was their end game after a long 9-year journey. But he's back. And the cover-up is unraveling before their very eyes. Buckle up and sleep tight, y'all. You know who? Y'all know you, excuse me. You know who you are. TikTok. And then he puts a little sand dial there. TikTok. That's a reference to Q. Most of this. He posted this, which I can't play because it'll get copyrighted. But y'all know these videos. They're on my Telegram page. Go to t.me/PatriotMike.
Watch those nature documentaries on the cable.
You've seen that one. Then he posted this. I play those videos complete, but I'm on Facebook and YouTube right now, so I can't. I'm not a believer in karma, but I am a believer in the justice of Yahweh, the joy of the Lord. The joy of my Lord, the joy of the Lord is my strength, the justice of Yahweh. And he posted this, which I can't play. And then Adam Shifty Shift tweeted this out yesterday. Adam, you should sit down and shut up. You should sit this one out. I'm just saying. He said, this is what Donald Trump wants you to forget. America never will. Impeached. Trump impeached. Impeached. Impeach, 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 impeach. It was prophesized, Adam Shift. You see, Adam, I'll explain something to you. You will do God's will. You will do God's will. Moses did God's will and was blessed. Pharaoh did God's will and was cursed. Adam, which one is you? Because you did God's will. What do you mean? It was so you're saying that Adam Schiff impeached Trump with God's will? Kim Clement is 2014 prophecy. There's a nation itching for a new kind of war. Impeach, but no. That's number one. That's this one right here. That's this one right here. That's number one. But that nation will come suddenly, but not in the time of Obama, in the time of my David. And he describes David, a man of veracity, a man of choice words, a man who they'll say isn't saying enough. And they were saying that of him early on, in between his presidencies. Impeach, but no. 2 impeachments. And then Adam Shifty Shift. And then there'll be much fear amongst the Democrats, and the Republicans will be shaken when a new Snowden arises. It was prophesied, Adam Shifty Shift, that you, Adam Pharaoh Shifty Shift, would do God's will and impeach Donald Trump twice, that he would be set aside and lose his election, but that he would have 2 terms. But if you go back and watch that Kim Clement prophecy, it says 2. Look, let me stop right there. Prophecy is meant to be watched for, not predicted. Because everybody said Kim Clement was a false prophet because Donald Trump didn't win, but he did win. And then he won again. And when he gave that prophecy, listen up, listen close, and understand. He corrected himself because he said 2 more. And he said 2 terms. Because the words that came out were 2 more. And then he said 2 terms. Because, let me tell you something, as I'm starting to learn about walking in prophecy, as prophetic words are coming out of my mouth, sometimes you say things unintentionally, they come out. And then you think about what you say, and is that can't be possible because the laws say that a president only gets 2 terms. How can he have 2 more terms? Therefore, it must be 2 terms. So he corrected himself. I'm just saying. Watch for. I'm not predicting anything, but I wouldn't be surprised. Watch for. Watched for. It's important. Donald Trump says this. The Panikins were wrong again. Yep, all the ones that were screaming Epstein, Donald Trump, Epstein. Oh my God, knee jerk. Wait till you see how that one turns out. And all the ones that were throwing a temper fit about the bombing, Donald Trump's going to kill our children in World War III. Well, they're about to, and all the Jew haters, they're about to get what they want, by the way. France, Germany, Canada, Great Britain have all announced that in September 23rd to be exact, at the United Nations, they're going to announce two-state solution, and they're going to declare, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to declare Gazanians their own state. Hamas, the Palestinian Authority, what do you want to call them? They're going to declare their state. And they're going to now how's that a state? You just declare it. Oh, it's a state. They're their country. But how? The Constitution says 2 terms. That's all you get. But then you have to ask yourself some questions. What happens if we find out that when Joe Biden won, it was a lie? What happens when we find out that for the first 4 years of Donald Trump's administration in the first term, recognized, that's the word I was looking for. Thanks, Tika. What will we find out about the Russia collusion, and where the entire government apparatus was working against the sitting president of the United States of America? What happens if the Supreme Court rules that there was all kinds of fraud going on? Then what? I don't have an answer to the question. But back to the Gazanians. That's right. They're all going to recognize Gaza, September 23rd at the UN General Council. Let's not forget the prophecy from Brandon Biggs. Let's not forget, if they split up Jerusalem, I will split the United States in 2 at the Mississippi River. God didn't say the Mississippi River, but Brandon talks about a vision that he saw. Republicans, when in doubt, vote the exact opposite of Senator Susan Collins. Generally speaking, you can't go wrong. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Donald Trump's such a troll. You gotta love it. So here is John Solomon on Hannity's show yesterday, I believe.
John Solomon, let's start with the breaking news. And I believe you might have a little bit of news to break either tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hold on, before we get into that, Judy, FDR served 12 years, and then that was prior to the amendment to the Constitution. So he's the reason they amended the Constitution. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, we'll lean into it right now. So this email was, and these intercepts were part of a very secret U.S. program where we spy on our enemies. And the government has the ability to determine if this email is real, but technology it would have to reveal would be very sensitive. And so there is a balancing act that has played out here in the last few weeks as people decided what to do with this. This is an explosive piece of evidence, but it's just a piece of evidence. We have to now, in the government, find out, did it really happen this way? But I will tell you something that did happen in the summer of 16. U.S. intelligence, when they first intercepted this, began to look at some other things. Could this be true? Could the Russians really have something? Have they stumbled onto a plot? One of the things they intercepted were text messages that showed that the first thing Hillary Clinton was going to do was to turn to Vice President Joe Biden and see if he would take the first blow against Donald Trump. Would he go out right in the middle of July and say, I think Donald Trump's got a Russia problem? Well, they watched that happen in real time, first in 2 interviews, then at a speech at the Democratic National Committee. It led some of our U.S. intelligence analysts to believe that what the Russians had captured was an ongoing plot and that it was really going on. And then a few days later, the FBI opens up, just like the Russian intelligence suggested. What we are sadly lacking is a complete investigation. This 10 years later, Chris Wray's FBI, John Durham's investigation, the U.S. Intelligence Committee, James Comey never fully investigated this. We could authenticate this if we put our elbow grease into it. The government owes us an answer to find out if this is all true. But Joe Biden did make that. Tomorrow morning, we're going to show you how Joe Biden's actions match what the Russian intelligence was predicting would happen.
So there's more to come. More to come. Ella says, my gut told me all along that because of all the interference and fraud in President Trump's first term, I think it is going to be determined that he is owed a replacement term. Well, maybe. We'll see. I'm just telling you what, I don't know. It's getting spicy out there, though. And Joe Biden was speaking the other day. I don't know where he's speaking at. Got a tuxedo on. I don't have a date on this, but this is after the election. And as it is recent, is all I'm saying, because he talks about recent events. Here's Joe Biden, panicking.
Appointed judges doing their best to be independent, fair, impartial, respecting the rule of law, and upholding the Constitution. I wish I could say the same for the executive branch, who seems doing his best to dismantle the Constitution. Oh, I'm being deadly earnest, man. Which seems to be what's going on. You know, and they're doing it all too often with the help of a Congress that's just sitting in the sidelines and enabled by the highest court in the nation. The rulings they've made, my God. Folks, in our lives, in the life of our nation, there are moments so stark that they divide all that came before from everything that followed. Moments that force us to confront hard truths about ourselves, our institutions, and democracy itself. We are, in my view, at such a moment in American history, reflected in every cruel executive outreach, every rollback of basic freedoms, every erosion of long-standing established precedent. We see in the law firms bowing to pressure, bending to bullies, instead of staying rooted in justice and the law, including some of the largest newspapers in America. We see the apparent glee some of our politicians express while watching immigrants who are in this country legally, torn from the arms of their family, dragged away in handcuffs from the only home they've ever known. My friends, we need to face the hard truth of this administration. It has been to ease all the gains we've made in my administration, to erase history rather than make it, to erase fairness, equality, to erase justice itself. And that's not hyperbole, that's a fact. Look, folks, you can't sugarcoat this. These are dark days, but you're all here for the same reason. I left that prestigious law firm in the public defender's office to go to the defender's office years ago. It's because our future is literally on the line.
Your future's on the line because I started for years ago for. I couldn't understand half what he said, but our future's on the line. No. You're right. Your democracy, and we're not a democracy, is on the line. Whatever. I don't know what you said, but cool. His administration did make gains in destroying our country, and Donald Trump turned all those around in the first 5 weeks, let alone 5 months.
It's when the president mentioned.
Now, here's a video. Yes. Here's a video. This is from NBC News. This is from back in the day, back in 2016, when CrowdStrike became important and people started talking about CrowdStrike. In fact, this doesn't even reference the Hillary Clinton email DNC servers. This references all the way back to the perfect phone call, because Donald Trump was asking about what was going on, impeachment hoax number 1, what was going on, or 2, I don't know, remember which one's which, in Ukraine, about Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. Did you know CrowdStrike is a Ukrainian company?
And I was supposed to announce that there's another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch.
You are a blabbermouth! A blabbermouth! You! Blabbermouth! Out!
This was, we're about to play the video. This is what it was all about. Tarred Feather says, speaking of phone call, Dutch bakery bulk food. It just jumped on me. Where did it go? Okay, I'll do it down here. Speaking of phone call, Dutch bakery and bulk food store, 709 Highway 50, West Tipton, Missouri. That's the one. Has Krautstown net orange sodas and mail delivery orders taken over by phone. So if you show up, they're going to owe me a commission when this is said and done. If you show up, or you call him on the phone, let him know you heard about it on the Patriot Mike Show, and he's asking for payment 1/10 of their cinnamon rolls. I'm just saying. Or a loaf of banana bread would be cool too. I'm just kidding. They're good though. It's good. It's good. It's a good place to go. If you hadn't been, just saying. Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff. So here is that ABC from way back when. Listen to what they said.
The president mentioned something called CrowdStrike. He says, I would like you to find out what happened with this whole situation with Ukraine. They say, CrowdStrike, I guess you have one of your wealthy people. The server, they say Ukraine has it. Okay, so what is he talking about? From this, it's not exactly clear what the president wants Ukraine to do, but it does start to make some sense after a little bit more context. CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity company that does digital forensics, and they've actually been in the news before.
Welcome to day one of the Democratic National Convention. There was chaos on the floor below us this afternoon.
Thousands of hacked emails leaked to WikiLeaks rocked the Democratic National Committee.
Yeah, so the DNC asked CrowdStrike to investigate, and the company ultimately found that Russian
Ukrainian country
network and stole emails, which they then published to WikiLeaks. And U.S. intelligence officials confirmed that. And those findings actually became part of Robert Mueller's indictment of a dozen Russian intelligence officials. But of course, the world of conspiracy theories tells a different tale. Basically, since 2016, right-wing blogs, news websites, and none other than Roger Stone have tried to spread the idea that Democrats and CrowdStrike framed Russia in order to discredit Trump's victory. They claim that evidence of this has been hidden on a DNC server somewhere in Ukraine, possibly by CrowdStrike founder Dmitry Alpertovich, whom they often refer to as a Ukrainian billionaire. Remember Trump mentions a wealthy Ukrainian in that phone call? Here's the thing though, Dmitry was actually born in Moscow, not Ukraine, and he's an American citizen. His company is based in Sunnyvale, California. And when it comes to the server, first of all, there isn't one single server that holds the key to all of this. The DNC said they decommissioned 140 servers and rebuilt 11 in the wake of the hack. One of them is actually on display at the DNC office. Here it is in a New York Times photo right next to a filing cabinet that was broken into during the Watergate scandal. CrowdStrike and U.S. intelligence officials both examined all that tech and shared the same findings, that Russians hacked the DNC. And even Trump's own former Homeland Security advisor has said there's no basis to this theory.
It is not only a conspiracy theory, it is completely debunked.
But the president has been fixated on this for years now.
Where is the server? I want to know, where is the server and what is the server saying?
So, to summarize, CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity company that helped uncover Russian meddling when investigating the DNC hack during the 2016 election. A far-right conspiracy theory alleges the company framed Russia in order to discredit Trump's presidency. And the theory hinges on the belief that this information is sitting on a missing DNC server that made its way to Ukraine. And
CrowdStrike is originally from Ukraine.
Reference when he asks the Ukrainian president for a favor on that now infamous July phone call.
Russia. The infamous July phone call in which Adam Shifty Schiff impeached Donald Trump over after reading a completely false phone call into the congressional record. It's all one big happy family of connections. Just some happy little families. Just all connected. Oh, by the way, got to give this one to Ron DeSantis, the fresh maker. In honor of a great Floridian, Hulk Hogan, we are lowering the flags of the Capitol in Pinellas, is that how you say it, County tomorrow? Additionally, I am officially declaring tomorrow, August 1st, that's today, 2025, as Hulk Hogan Day in Florida. That's cool. Rest in peace, brother. That's cool. I appreciate that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
The reason that this signed President Donald J.
Okay, let me get this off the screen. I want to get to one, make sure we get one more. Here is well, just watch. This is MSNBC. Here we go. This is another one.
These days, however, and importantly, he is the chief security officer at CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is the firm, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, approached by the FBI, by the government, as a vendor, either once this attack was discovered or in a preventative manner. Either way, tell us what you know about this attack.
Yeah, Brian, we actually were called by the DNC through their counsel when they saw that there were some irregularities. They were concerned about potential breach within their environment. We came in, did our typical incident response. We deployed certain pieces of technology that we use to try to get some visibility into the extent, the depth, and breadth of this particular breach. In the course of this, working very closely with the IT staff of the DNC, we were able to identify with a very high degree of confidence, a group that we have attributed back to the Russian government targeting that DNC network. We know with certainty, my time in the Bureau and now at CrowdStrike, that foreign intelligence services are constantly interested in political processes.
Do you even know what you're sitting on?
WikiLeaks never sits on material. Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material and often very significant risks. As a 27-year-old works for the DNC, who was shot in the back, murdered just 2 weeks ago for unknown reasons as he was walking down the street in Washington. So
that was just a robbery, I believe, wasn't it?
No, there's no finding. So
what are you suggesting? What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that our sources take risks, and they become concerned to see things occurring like that.
But was he one of your sources then? I mean,
we don't comment on who our sources
but
are.
Why make the suggestion about a young guy being shot in the streets of Washington?
Because we have to understand how high the stakes are in the United States, and that our sources are, our sources face serious risks. That's why they come to us, so we can protect their anonymity.
But it's quite something to suggest a murder. That's basically what you're doing.
Well, that others have suggested that. We are investigating to understand what happened in that situation with Seth Rich. I think it is a concerning situation. There's not a conclusion yet. We wouldn't be willing to state a conclusion, but we are concerned about it. And more importantly, a variety of WikiLeaks sources are concerned when that kind of thing happens.
It's all coming. I told you a long time ago, it's all connected. It's all together. It's all connected to Ukraine. Did I not tell you that before? Did I not say that before? I think I did. Donald Trump says this. The Russia hoax is now totally undisputed. The facts are all there in black and white. It is the biggest scandal in American history. The perpetrators of this crime must pay a big price. This can never be allowed to happen in our country again.
Ms. Tan, genetics.
Amazing is all I got to say about that. Utterly and totally, completely amazing. There's one other thing that I'd like to cover if I get a chance, and that is
John.
That is Donald Trump wants to build a ballroom. He wants to build a ballroom, and the Democrats are mad about it. And it's going to happen because Donald Trump is going to pay for itself. Here is the White House responding to Caroline Levant, responding to questions about the ballroom.
Preserve the special history of the White House while building a beautiful ballroom that can be enjoyed by future administrations and generations of Americans to come. In the White House, we will continue to provide the American public and all of you in the press with updates on this project at whitehouse.gov/visit. And if you go there shortly, you will be able to see renderings and visuals of what this ballroom will look like, both the exterior and the interior. I have provided some photos for all of you in the room today. This is the interior of the ballroom space. It's quite beautiful. And then this is the exterior of the ballroom space. As you can see, it will come off of the executive mansion as it sits today, and the east wing will be modernized and renovated. We're happy to answer any further questions on that, Jennifer. Since you're so eager, I will go to you, but first, as always,
And Donald Trump speaks on this. Let me see here. Donald Trump speaks on this. But first, I think I get to the rendering of the blueprints, the plans of what it is before I get to Donald Trump speaking on it. But I'll do both. Here it is, right here. This is the ballroom right here. This is the rendering, the probably artificial intelligence, whatever. But this is off the blueprints. This is what Donald Trump wants to build. And here's the outside, what it will look like from the outside on a snowy day, nonetheless. So it's going to be grand. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be elegant, because if Donald Trump's building it, you know it's going to be over the top, right? You know it's going to be over the top if Donald Trump is building it. So that's just part of the gig when it comes to Donald Trump. Let me see if I can find his comments on this real quick, because I think he has some really quick here. And then we got one more. See, okay. Here's Donald Trump's comments on his ballroom.
Yeah, Mr. President, can you talk about your plans for the new ballroom that was announced today?
Yeah.
And the $200 million, that's going to be paid for by yourself?
By me, yeah.
Private donations?
It's a private thing. Yeah, I'll do it, and we'll probably have some donors or whatever, but it's about $200 million. So we've been planning it for a long time. They've wanted a ballroom at the White House for more than 150 years, but there's never been a president that was good at ballrooms. I'm really good. In fact, I looked at one that we just built in Turnberry in Scotland, and it's incredible. We're good at building. I'm good at building things, and we'll get it built quickly and on time. It'll be beautiful, top of the line. We've retained the best architects and engineers, everything else. It'll be built over on the east side, and it will be beautiful. It'll be views of the Washington Monument. It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite place. I love it. But they've wanted it, and when they have big events, you entertain the president of China or the president of any place, and you have big crowds. They've always had to get a tent, and you've probably been to some of them, Bobby. When it rains, it's a disaster, and the tent's 100 yards. That's more than a football field away from the main entrance, and people are schlopping down to the tent. It's not a pretty sight. The women with their lovely evening gowns, all of their hair all done, and they're a mess by the time they get. And they've always wanted to have it. And I said, in the first term, I said, if I get another shot at this, I'm going to do a ballroom. I was pretty busy in the first because I was running the country, and I was also fighting for survival with all of the lunatics I had to beat. But it worked out. Obviously, it worked out very well because here we are. But I always said I was going to do something about the ballroom because they should have one. So we'll be leaving it. It'll be a great legacy project, and I think it'll be special. You saw some renderings of the initial. I think it'll be really beautiful.
No government dollars at all.
No government dollars, no.
No government dollars. They said, he said right at the beginning, he says, it's me. Maybe some other people will kick in. I bet you they've had the architects and the engineers and all that stuff. I bet you $1 to a donut. He knows the best of the best when it comes to that. He knows the best construction company. I bet you $1 to a donut. He went over there and said, hey, I want to build this big, beautiful ballroom. Big, beautiful. Put Trump right on top of it. I'm just kidding. He's not going to put Trump on it. But a big, beautiful, this is what my idea is. And they went to the architect and he said, it would be really good if you help me out here. And the architect goes, yeah, this is a great idea. America, so we'll do it for cost or we'll do it free or whatever. That's what's happening here. I guarantee it's what's happening here. I guarantee when he gets it done, it'll be earlier than on time. It'll be under budget. It won't cost $200 billion. It'll be less because a lot of these patriotic vendors, construction people, suppliers of materials are going to do it out of a donation, a goodness of their heart. Watch. Mark, write that down. Write that down. And then, of course, Chucky Schumer had to get into the act. Everybody wants to be a comedian around here. Chucky Schumer had to get into the act. Here's Chucky Schumer in a press conference complaining that Donald Trump wants to do this because he's an idiot.
Here's even something more confounding. Some breaking news. Just now, the White House announced construction of a $200 million White House ballroom that will begin in September. A $200 million ballroom. Where'd this money come from? Did Congress appropriate it? I don't think so. It's almost like Doge was never about waste at all.
President Trump and other donors have generously committed to donating the funds necessary to build this approximately $200 million structure.
Here's even something more confounding. Some breaking news. Just now, the White House...
So Chucky Schumer is going, where'd this money come from? Dude, Doge, he's implying that Donald Trump is stealing money to pay for this when he's writing a check. It takes one to know one comes to mind here. It takes one to know one. You, sir, are one of the biggest grifters there is on the planet in history. So I don't want to hear your mouth move. I don't want to see your mouth move and hear the words come out of your mouth. I don't care. Because you're just dumb. With a capital B. Dumb. Dumb. And then of course, while we're ending the show, I got a minute or so left, so we're going to end the show. But first, I want one other thing is happening. If I can hit the right doggone button, here we go. And I got to find it here real quick.
John Kerry has made his account.
John Kerry, who served in Vietnam. That's not what I'm looking for. So Kamala Harris, who's decided she's not running for governor of California, is now hawking her new book. Here she is, sitting in a library with some cringy TikTok.
Everyone thinks you've been kicking back, drinking margaritas on the beach, but really, you've been hard at work writing a book, meeting with leaders, thinking about the future of our country. Who said that?
What? Anyways, Kamala Harris, who is, not renowned around the world for her deep thoughts on issues and things, and how her thoughts are thinking about things that she thinks about. So she's writing a book about her time and her thoughts on her campaign as president. Kamala Harris to release a book about 2024 presidential campaign. Former Vice President Kamala Harris will release a book in September about the historic campaign for president. What the world saw on the campaign trail was only part of the story, Harris wrote in a social media post about her book's release. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Kamala Harris will be thinking thoughts about thoughts in a book that she thought about and then put in a book so that she can think about them and share her thoughts with you thinking about the thoughts that she put into her book and stuff. That's right. Kamala Harris has got a book out. Who's going to go buy it? You know when you go to Walmart and they got the bargain bin there up at the front? And they got the books in there and they're marked down to 99 cents or something? This will be next week. This will be next week. Here's Kamala Harris's book right here. 107 Days. Kamala Harris with deep thoughts about thoughts that she thinks about. And when she talks about her thoughts and she wants you to know her thoughts, then you'll know her thoughts and understand the thoughts that she thinks about. Except that Dr. Seuss's nursery books, his rhymes and his books were going somewhere. When they said they were going somewhere, there was a beginning and an end and a complete sentence. So everybody go out and buy the Kamala Harris book or something. As for me, no, thank you. I'm not. Money laundering is new books. That's true. I was going to bring that up. As for me, I'm not going to. I'm not participating. No, thank you. Not interested. I guess if I needed something to stoke the fire in my fireplace, I'd get the book, but I don't think I will. Anyways, y'all know it's Friday. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and share and all, whatever, the heart, wherever it is, wherever you are at. Watching the show, thank you for supporting me. Go out and check out my products from my new company. 1 month we've been in operation. 1 month we did 3 million in sales overall in 1 month. 3 million in sales. It's fantastic. If you're looking for an opportunity, this is an opportunity. I'm looking for an opportunity. I mean, many of you have been in these companies, whatever, if you'd only got in the beginning. Well, this is the beginning of the beginning. So if you want to know more, text message me, send me an email, contact me on Facebook. We could talk. And then if you want to know how to get a hold of the products that are changing the game, I'm down 10 pounds, got energy galore. The new collagen product that's available is fantastic. So, same thing. And it's Friday, so make sure you go out, enjoy the weather. It's beautiful here in Central Missouri, so no better time than this to get out and enjoy it. And, take your shoes off, run around in the grass, frolic around with the kids, whatever. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it Monday. Don't turn the news on. Take a break. You guys have a great day. I will see you all Monday. Patriot Mike is out.